Have you ever felt like life was against you? That everything you tried to build fell apart right before your eyes? If the answer is yes, then this message is for you. Because, even if no one has told you yet, you are still standing for a reason. And that reason is greater than any pain you have ever faced. Many people give up halfway, not because of weakness, but because they have forgotten who they are. They have forgotten their purpose, their faith, and the courage they carry within. This video is not only motivational, it is a call. A warning to remind you that you were made to win. Get ready to hear truths that perhaps no one had the courage to tell you, but that can change your destiny. And yes, it starts now. Enough with the justifications that keep you stuck in the same place. Excuses seem comfortable, but they are traps in disguise. The truth is that as long as you keep escape routes, you will never truly dive into your purpose. Renew your mind. Break this cycle. No one achieves transformation by clinging to invisible crutches. Overcoming begins when you decide that there is no longer a plan B. If you are afraid, go ahead and be afraid. Courage is not the absence of insecurity, it is action even when insecure. Want a practical exercise? Write down everything you usually use as an excuse and then tear up that paper. Committing to your victory begins the moment you close the doors again. If you have survived everything you have faced, it was not by luck. It was by purpose. God does not waste suffering. Every tear, every fall, every new beginning carries a lesson that prepares you for something greater. The persistence that has brought you here is proof that your story is still being written. You have a mission. Even if you don't see it now, it exists. There are people who need to hear what only you can say, to live what only you can live. Don't accept living on autopilot. Get up with intention, even on days when everything seems heavy. Your life is worth much more than just surviving. It was made to transform. Maybe you are tired, exhausted, and everything inside you screams for you to give up. But I need you to live. Hear this as a divine whisper in the middle of the storm. I need you to live. Because even at your limit, there is still a calling waiting for you up ahead. Believe me, you didn't come this far to stop now. It may seem impossible, but each breath is already an act of resistance. When you don't have the strength to run, walk. If you can't walk, drag yourself. But don't stop. Faith often begins in the dark, in the silence, at the moment when everything seems lost. That's when resilience is born and victory begins to take shape, even if you don't see it yet. There are days when everything hits you at once: fear, anxiety, memories that hurt, doubts that paralyze. It seems like the whole world has decided to test you all at once. But let me remind you of something: if you're still breathing, you're still resisting. And that, in itself, is already an act of courage. Pain tries to convince you that it's the end, but it lies. Take a deep breath. If necessary, breathe just for today. Persistence is built little by little, with small acts of faith in the midst of chaos. Remember that moment when you thought you wouldn't make it? You did. And you will make it through this one too. You are stronger than you think. While many choose the easy way out, you are being called to something different. Victory demands sacrifices that not everyone is willing to make. Waking up earlier, studying when no one is watching, trying again when the world tells you to give up. That's where the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary lies. It doesn't matter how many times you've fallen, what matters is how many times you are willing to get up. Renewal happens in action. Want a practical challenge? Choose an action today that you've been avoiding out of fear. It could be sending that resume, recording that video, asking for help. Courage is strengthened in movement. Sometimes, all you need to hear is that we can do it. And I repeat, with all the faith that exists in me, we will do it. Not because the path will be easy, but because we were made to resist. Because there is a force that unites us, even if we are in different battles. You are not fighting alone. There is an invisible chain of persistent people like you, falling and getting up, believing even without guarantees. This journey is not about perfection, it is about resilience. When one stumbles, the other holds them up. When one gets discouraged, the other reminds us that we were called to win. Reinforce this in your mind every day. This affirmation has power. You are not breathing by chance. Each breath is a chance to align yourself with the purpose that God planted within you. Take a deep breath now, and understand that you are still here because there is something important to be done. Do not neglect this opportunity. Even if everything seems difficult, there is still time to start over. Try again. Write that project you shelved, send that message that pride held back, insist once again on that idea that moves you inside. Your destiny is waiting for you on the other side of your courage. Manifesting what is inside you requires faith, sacrifice, and, above all, intentional action. Sometimes, the obstacle is not out there, it is in the mirror. It is hard to admit, but many of our limits are self-imposed. Procrastination, fear of making mistakes, self-sabotage, all of this comes from within. But here's the truth, if you are the problem, you are also the solution. And this is liberating. Stop blaming the world, others, the past. The power of transformation is in your hands. Do a simple exercise every time you complain. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I do now to change this? The answer may be small, but renewal begins with this small step. There comes a time when the wait has to end. And that time is now. Declare firmly, it is my turn. It is my time. Because it is. You have spent too much time watching others live their dreams while hiding yours out of fear or insecurity. Stand up and invest in yourself. Life will not hand you everything on a silver platter, but it will reward you when you act with purpose. Want to start? List 3 areas of your life that are at a standstill today and choose an action to move each one of them. The clock is ticking, but you can make your time count. It is easy to get lost. Notifications, demands, comparisons, empty promises of immediate pleasure. Everything tries to steal your focus, your peace, and your identity. But you were not called to live on autopilot. You need to slow down to hear what really matters, the voice of your purpose. Disconnecting from the noise is essential. Set aside moments of silence every day, even if it is for 5 minutes. No cell phone, no rush. Just you and your thoughts. Write down what you feel, pray, meditate, breathe with intention. When everything seems hopeless, faith needs to speak louder than fear. And believe me, you just need to find yourself again to move forward. I know the pain seems endless. That there are days when getting out of bed is already a heroic act. But listen carefully, better days are coming. Not because everything will magically get better, but because you are being prepared. The faith that sustains you today will be the basis of your victory tomorrow. Keep believing, even when there is no sign of improvement. Persistence in the dark is what leads you to the light. And if no one else is telling you this, I am here to tell you that you will overcome. You will prosper, yes. Because your story does not end in the desert, it continues to the garden. Maybe you made mistakes. Maybe you failed more times than you would like to admit. But that does not define you. You are not a failure. You are a chosen one, someone who carries a purpose and who, even with scars, is still standing. And that in itself already says a lot about your strength. Life has more than 2 times. If you think you lost the first or second, calm down. There is still the third, the fourth while you are alive. The game is not over. Use the lessons of the past as ammunition to write a new chapter. You are not a coincidence, you are a construction in progress. What happened cannot be changed, but it can stop holding you back. As long as you carry traumas as your main baggage, you will not have free hands to embrace the new. The time has come to let go. Let go of what hurt you, what held you back, what no longer serves you. Your transformation begins with letting go. Release the weight that is no longer yours. Do this by writing a letter to the person who hurt you and then tearing it up. Symbolically, you are telling the universe that you are ready for the next chapter. Renewal does not happen yesterday, but now. And the now wants to see you free to win. No matter the current score, a true warrior just needs one more chance. Because he has learned to fight even at a disadvantage, even when injured, even alone. And guess what? That chance could be today. It could be now. The world has not yet seen everything you have to show. It is not over yet. Stop comparing yourself to those who had easier paths. Your road is harder because your calling is higher. An ordinary dreamer gives up, but you are not ordinary. You are called, chosen, someone who time will still applaud. If you have another chance, grab it with everything and show who you are. There are days when your body feels heavy, your mind is blocked, and your heart just wants to stay still. I know. But it is on those days that true strength appears. Getting up without desire is an act of faith. It is telling the universe that I still believe, even without feeling it. This is pure courage. Create the habit of getting up out of discipline, not emotion. When motivation fails, let constancy come in. Make your bed. Drink water. Go for a walk. Small gestures that scream I am still fighting. Because persisting even without desire is what separates the winners from the spectators of life itself. Each day is a new chance to win. Don't waste this privilege. Showing your best version is not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Choosing good when evil seems easier. Choosing faith when doubt tries to scream. Your excellence is built on details, habits, and repetition. Want a practical path? Start your day with a question: how can I be a better person today? Be more focused, kinder, and more persistent. Dress like a winner. Think like someone who has already won. Because when you act with purpose, victory begins to recognize your presence. There are doors that will only open when you reach them. People, contracts, and opportunities are there, waiting for you. But only those who continue walking with faith and consistency will get there. The future is not a stroke of luck that falls from the sky, it is a reward for those who do not give up halfway. Yes, it will require sacrifice. You may have to give up comfort, other people's approval, and old habits. But think of it this way: what is at stake is worth much more. The victory that awaits you is real, and it is right there. You just need to keep moving forward with purpose. Today, while you breathe, millions didn't have this chance. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up. Being alive is a privilege. And a privilege brings responsibility. What do you do with this daily gift called life? Complaining less and being more grateful is a good start. Value your time as the most precious resource there is. Start over today with gratitude in your eyes and purpose in your heart. Wake up with the awareness that there is still a mission in progress. Because, if you are reading this now, it is a sign that life still believes in you. There is no point in feeling inspired and remaining still. Motivation without action is like gasoline without a car, it doesn't get you anywhere. So, may this spark that you feel now generate movement, generate change. Don't wait for the right moment, it is now. Transformation begins with a simple choice to do things differently. Take a real step today. Call someone who needs to hear your voice. Schedule that course. Break that habit that is holding you back. Motivation is just the initial push. The rest comes from your discipline. True victory comes when willpower becomes action. Have you ever fallen? We all have. The difference lies in who decides to get up, even with pain, shame, or tiredness. Starting over is not a setback, it is a courageous choice. It is the silent cry of someone who says it's not over for me yet. And it really isn't. There is still time. There is still a game. Believe strongly, even if your eyes can't see the way. Believe as a habit. As a daily practice. Because victory, when it becomes a lifestyle, stops being an exception and becomes your new normal. Start over. Believe. Win. And then, repeat it all over again. Now that you've come this far, tell me what you're going to do with all this. Are you just going to feel, get emotional, or are you going to act? The change you seek does not depend on a miracle, it depends on your decision today. You have everything you need to win, you just need to use it. So, reflect on what is still holding you back. What needs to die inside you so that the new can be born? Start over. Take the first step, even if it's small. And if this message spoke to you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Let's do it together because you will win.